years now, and for the past two, VR has become my full-time gig. I'm experiencing new virtual reality games every single day, and I of course love checking out the latest hardware. So if you have any questions at all about this industry, stay tuned and I promise I'll give you some answers. As a reminder, if you have a direct question for me, please use @Mateo311 down in the chat when asking. And if you want to help support this channel, go click the thumbs up right now. Now the stream will be starting soon, but in the meantime, enjoy the montage. Hello everybody and welcome back. The live stream is about to begin momentarily, and soon I'll start answering all of your questions about VR. I've had my VR YouTube channel up for over 5 years now, and for the past two, VR has become my full-time gig. I'm experiencing new virtual reality games every single day, and I of course love checking out the latest hardware. So if you have any questions at all about this industry, stay tuned and I promise I'll give you some answers. As a reminder, if you have a direct question for me, please use @Mateo311 down in the chat when asking. And if you want to help support this channel, go click the thumbs up right now. Now the stream will be starting soon, but in the meantime, enjoy the montage. What's up, guys? What's going on? Hey, everybody. I was kind of waiting. I had to wait a little while. Like, I pressed start stream, and it took like 2 minutes before it started streaming. Anywho, how's everybody doing? Upload VR still going? I don't... Why are they still going? Do I come on after them? I don't know. I'm never free except for this during the week. So like I don't pay attention to what goes on during the day. I kind of watch like all my VR stuff at the end of the week, Saturday, Sunday type deal. Anyway, what's going on, guys? How you doing? I have a little bit of a stuffy nose. As you can see, my nose is a little red. I had a cold again this week. Wasn't like the one I had a few weeks back. That one knocked me on my ass. This one has just been boogies. And boogies and boogies. They're covering tons of stuff. Oh man. Well, you guys come in, you recap me. All right, you guys recap me. So what is going on? It's nice to see some familiar names and some new names. Well, let's just jump through and see what we got going on. ZF, what's up, man? Good to see you popping in nice and early. VR Arlen, Mark popping. Oni, what's up, dude? Main event. I like that. That's pretty cool. I'm not, that's a new name for me. I would have recognized that one. Bible Crusader. All right, what's up, man? Welcome. That's a new name. Q Creator, what's up, buddy? Thanks for always being so supportive. Cruz, what's up? Mons. Solo Q Sigma. What's up? What's going on? Spencer, Tyler, Kill Delta. What's going on? And Fourth Deadly Sin. What's the fourth deadly sin? I don't know the order. Like, I can name them, but I don't know the order. Anyway, how you guys doing? I got a lot going on, a lot to talk about, a lot to show off. And as always, if you guys got questions, I apologize. I'm going to be sitting here like sniffling and shit. If you guys have questions, hit @Mateo311 in the chat, and I will get to them because a lot of times the chat gets too fast for me to keep up with. Uploads covering a ton of things. Uploads lame. Nah. Well, I don't know. Like many things, they're not like they used to, for better or worse. So Batman got a new game plus. I saw that, and a new Endgame cutscene. I did see that in the update notes. I wanted to jump back in just for that, but I've been running around. Got any idea when Wanderer Fragments of Fate is coming out? Yes, I do. Can I tell you? I don't think so. Gotta love the sparkling ice. Well, this is not sponsored by Sparkling Ice, so now we're just drinking pink drink. The manliest of colored drinks. Quincy, what's going on? I do know something about Wanderer, but I don't think I can say anything, so my mouth is shut. Before the heat death of the sun. Yeah, well, that's going to be a while. Like, that's going to be, yeah. Can't wait for the new James Cameron stuff. We know, like, we heard it's a thing, and I don't have any more information. It's a thing. James Cameron, 3D VR movies. I'm down. That's pretty awesome. And when? And what? And, is it gimmicky or is it solid? We'll see. Have you had a chance to try free AIM VR shoes? No, I have not. I haven't even heard of them. Most of those VR accessories are just like clunky, don't work right in my opinion. I'm not a I'm not a really big fan, but who knows? Someone will crack it. A YouTuber can have the product that's just for drinking for the sake of drinking it. I know, Arlen. I'm just goofing around. So Alien for Q3. Where we at with that? Soon. When I'm allowed to post something, I'll post something. How about that? We at the soon stage. I do have something cool. I'll show you guys. Sorry, I'm sniffling. I'll show you guys right behind me something cool. It's gonna look a little ridiculous. I'm gonna have to turn the lights on. Let's see. Okay. Alexa, turn the basement lights on. Oh, I thought she wasn't listening. I thought it was like every other woman in my life. Okay, come, follow me. Wait. We're gonna follow me. Okay, follow me. That's a monitor. That's part one of follow me. You've been watching a movie in the dark? I mean, I usually do. I when I film, I was filming before. That's usually the lighting mode I keep. But right here, guys. Boom. Oh no! Hold on, the camera's not open. I'm such a dope. Looky. I mean, the basement redo is coming along nicely, huh? So I got my new wall here put up. That, that's my new slotted, yada, yada, whatever, sound acoustic padded wall. Look at the index hanging, my award. We're going to put some lights in the slots and do a couple other things. I'll probably hang my B haptics also. But yeah, we're coming along, as you see. Step stools there because I'm short and can't reach things. But yeah, it's coming along nicely. I'm quite happy with my work down here. And bring it back. Boom. Huh? What do you think? But if I was watching a movie, yes, it would be in the dark because I use a projector down here. Is it scheduled for the 13th? If I could tell you, I'd tell you. I do want to make a red alert mode for Alexa. I'm probably going to put my electronic Nerf turret guns. I have like turret ones on a little relay. Be quiet over there, lady. I'm going to put them on a USB, not a USB relay, but I'll put them on a relay. It's easy, whatever. And then make a command and then have Nerf darts shooting. We'll do it. And then we'll get my wife down here one day and wreck her. God of War on that monitor will be fire. Yeah, I mean, so that is the Samsung G9 Neo. It's 59 inches ultra wide. It's very similar to the monitor I use now, which is going to go above it. People gave me crap. Like, why do you have one flat and one curved monitor? Why don't you just, leave me alone? You never knew your real ladder. You only knew your step ladder. Okay, it's a step stool. How about that? Can't wait for Gunman Contracts to come out this year. Gunman Contracts, I'm actually really excited for. The ultra wide, yeah. Well, it's an ultra wide. It's an ultra wide. The aspect ratio is pretty crazy. It ends up being two 34-inch 4K monitors side to side. And the one I have now is actually two 27-inch 1440p monitors side by side. So what else I also got my hands on coming in the near future is the RTX 5090. So if I want at least like 3 frames per second on that giant screen, that's what I'm going to need. All right. Hello. Is there a way to play Steam VR wired? I got a 5-meter USB and I realized that I don't know why I need it at all. I mean, with a PC, any PCVR headset is a wired headset that you could play Steam VR with. If you're talking about with the Quest, yeah, you need a link cable and you can play wired, but there's still compression and latency. Yeah. Aside from Steam Motion Smoothing, Meta is ASW and VD SSW, which I know what you're talking about. I just can't. Asynchronous, time warp. I can't remember what all the names. And virtual desktops, whatever they use. Do you know of any other frame generation software or perhaps any other inside info on something similar in development? Kill Delta, I actually do not at all. I have no clue. I mean, that's usually not like things in my discussion circles that like pop up. But, I mean, yeah. I don't know. Our next adventure, what's going on? On that monitor, what buttons engage tanning mode? Let me tell you, it feels like that. You'll notice like a lot of times I'll start the stream with a sweatshirt on, and then a little bit later I pull it off. There is a significant amount of warmth that comes off this monitor. Yeah. Any news on Meta's cloud gaming? No. Man, killing me. I wish I had more news. Okay. What do you think about the Play for Dream headset? Think it comes to USA? I think it sounds like one of those headsets where it's almost like too good to be true. Like a lot of what ends up happening when it's a smaller company, a newer company, even though I think some of their roots were rather big. What ends up happening is there's just like, people don't realize the massive gap between making a prototype, making a single unit, and then mass producing units. And that's why like the Valve Index was a 2019 headset, but had 2017 parts in it. That's how long it takes to get things like really moving. I think, you might be in a situation like the Lynx R1 again, where, oh yeah, it's an amazing headset. The specs on paper now, but by the time it releases, those specs are old and dog shit. But I'm not saying that's the case here. It could be, but I don't know. I can't wait for Pimax and shoehorn that monitor into a headset. Pimax is we're not going wide anymore. I don't know what their deal is. I do wish better frame generation was implemented into VR. The obvious warping is kind of a problem. I mean, yeah, fake frames in VR do not feel good. Like, a lot of times they don't feel good. And VR is all about the feel, man. If it doesn't feel right, it's going to be a problem. It's really hard because fake frames alone, like if you look at a lot of the crappy motion interpolation for TV these days, they're taking the 24 frame per second TV and trying to get it up to 60 or 120. And you get that weird jitter and you get that soap opera kind of looking effect, and it feels unnatural. Now, combine that with your natural body's movement, your brain, interpreting a lot of different signals. That's why people get nauseous in VR, because reality doesn't match what they're seeing. Now, add weird, not realistic, not real at all frames into the mix. It might feel like you're swimming or floating, or it's not a good sensation. So it's tough. Thoughts on Meta Ray-Ban glass update? I'm really looking forward to what they announce next week or 2 weeks from now. They said the 9th. So about 2 weeks from now, rumor has it that this will be Ray-Ban glasses with some sort of screen in them. I'm pumped. They're probably going to be pretty freaking expensive. Trevor, what's up? Hello to my Canadian friends. Don't call me buddy, pal. Let's see. A little off topic. I recall a previous video you were talking about Noun Town, and I think you were using it for Italian C. How's progress? Is that game legit? I haven't used it in a while. I was using it a lot last year before I left for Rome. I spent about 10 days in Italy last year, and I was using it a lot before then, and I will say it was going great. It's not a great tool for you to like learn a language, but it's a great tool for immersion and increasing your vocabulary. So I used it supplemental with something. What was I using? I don't know, Babbel, let's say. I think I was using Babbel. So Babbel supplement with Noun Town, 15 or 20 minutes each a day, and my vocabulary definitely grew. Like, I know like stupid animals that I don't know when I'd ever say them in conversation, but whatever. I start remembering, Volpe and all stuff like that, and Wolf, Fox. So you start remembering Fiore is flower. Like that's, it just really helped with vocab. So I do recommend it. It is pretty badass. I look like a former WWE wrestler, Steve Blackman. I've never heard the name. I'll look him up. Let's look him up together. Let's see. What's his name? Steve Blackman. Let's see. All right. I guess you could say I look a tiny bit like him. No one would ever confuse us. And I do remember watching him when I was a kid. I didn't know his name though. Yeah. I mean, no, you're not confusing us. Like that's like saying I look like Frank Grillo. Like, yeah. You can't tell us apart. But I used to look a ton like Mark Ruffalo. When he was younger, he had a very different look, and we looked a lot alike, and I used to hear it all the time. But not anymore. You won't see it. Okay. You just need Meta to officially add PS Remote Play. That would be great. You could there's definitely ways to do stuff like that. Obviously, Xbox is there. I did use a third-party app for PlayStation Remote Play a while ago, but I don't know the status of it. Let's see. But that is definitely one thing we need. But is Sony going to spend the time to give you that official app? No. We could pass as relatives. He's probably got like a foot on me and 80 pounds. So I don't think we're passing as distant cousins. Let's just say anyone with dark hair. Any white dude. Oh my God, he is 6'2". Jesus. John, you missed nonsense. I showed off my giant new monitor that I didn't put in place yet. I should have been working on my my gaming space here, trying to make it a little bit cooler. I gotta get rid of that transition. There's no point. The D&D space is still rocking and rolling, still awesome. But now that room needs to look cooler. This area looks too cool. I gotta put a poster up or something for the transition. And yep, we'll be doing this lower monitor. On the bottom, we'll be rising up to the top. So this monitor shall be rising up here. I think I'm gonna put the lights on the wall so I don't need the stupid, bars, whatever. You could actually, the black trim, you could actually put a wire straight down and it doesn't show. Like, you can't really see the wire there either, so it's perfect, the wire for the lighthouse. So my replacement PC is coming today, actually. I believe it'll probably come during the stream. So I'm replacing my PC, and then I ordered a 5090. That's on the way. Everything's going to be a full upgrade down here, and I'm going to put a few more things up on the wall, make it look nifty. And back to my face. Hi. Oh, well, let's talk games. Trevor, you got dark hair? We're twins. VR Central, what's up, man? It's okay. You make up for hype by picking me up and Genghis at the same time. That was not you and Genghis at the same time, VR Central. I was carrying you and Otter at the same time. I had VR Central on one shoulder and an Otter on the other. Otter Worldly, Rachel. And I was carrying them because when I get drunk, I tend to pick things up and carry it because I'm an idiot. So I'm carrying them, but I kept losing my grip on VR Central. And there was lots of tequila involved. And then I wrestled Genghis in a Kirby suit. It was all fun and games. What's going on, VR Central? What's up, man? How you been? We're just talking more nonsense. The transition's cool, but I need to adjust the transition. It cuts the audio. I got to change that. But we're redoing everything. So we're redoing OBS with the new computer. We're redoing everything, man. Hey, Matt, any more tabletop strategy like Battle Mark in the shoot? You got your ear to the ground. Battle Marked is actually what I wanted to talk about. Anything else besides that's tabletop? Not that I could think of. But Battle Marked is right on screen right now. It's there. Yeah, with my goofy face. Battlemarked is the new Demio D&D collaboration. Is that a real word? Combination, whatever. So we knew that Resolution Games was working on an officially licensed D&D title, which I am insanely pumped for. And they just gave us a tease a few days ago. I don't know if you saw. Actually, it was yesterday. So if you guys saw my video from yesterday, I discussed it. It's basically going to use Demio as a foundation. And then they're going to inject I don't know what fantasy setting they're using, but D&D lore into the tabletop game. They're going to do storytelling. It's going to release with 2 campaign stories or 2 campaigns. And we're probably going to see, all the traditional characters from D&D, bard, fighter, you name it, whatever the case may be. And we got to see what they end up doing with the overall mechanics. Like, let's hope it's not just graphical and story influence into their gameplay, but a little bit deeper. We really want to, like character progression system would be nice. Oh yeah, that's right. All on Board is coming. I'm definitely going to be covering that for you guys in the future. I played it at Gamescom, and the only problem was, I wasn't familiar with the board game we were playing. So like, yeah, you roll the dice, do this, that, and like, I didn't know the game, so like, I couldn't really be super enthralled. Because I'm like, I'm just learning what's going on. What is this game? Is this a good game? I can't remember what it was called. Apparently, it's like a darkly themed game and has a really good reputation, but I wasn't familiar with it. Let's see. Trying to catch up on your chat here. You didn't like Iron Rebellion? Had issues selecting things on the main screen on Q3. I feel like that reminds me of something. Like, I feel like I had to close my palm or something so that I was only a finger, or leave my hand open. I remember there was like something slightly unnatural, but didn't have issues. Have you tried DLS 4 on some games? What are your thoughts? No, I haven't tried it yet. Do you watch Upload VR? Rarely. What's going on, Casey? Why? Why do you ask? Any chance Resolution Games will invite you to their studio? I mean, if I asked them to and said, hey, can I come visit? I'm sure they wouldn't say no, but they're not flying me out to Sweden. But if there is like some event going on or something, I think if there's an event where they bring creators out, I think I could be on that list for sure. I actually talked to their promotional person. I don't want to mislabel her, but I talk to who's in charge of their promotion constantly. I consider her a friend, and I've been begging her for information on D&D, and I'm sure if there's a D&D event, she would consider me for that. Let's see. Have you seen the seemingly popular high-res OLED or micro OLED screen? Micro OLED is the future, but right now, the current version is not where it needs to be. There's a couple factors like price, brightness, and high persistence that need to be resolved. So if it's too expensive, no one's going to put them in their headset. If it's high persistence is an issue that some people deal with, other people don't. High persistence like ruins the experience for me. That's the PlayStation VR 2. You see this in a lot of in OLED screens, and basically kind of causes like a ghosting effect. And you combat that by running them at lower power, and that's why they're so freaking dim. So if you did like an OLED and then a pancake lens, you can't get the OLED screen bright enough to go through the pancake lens to have a good user experience. So there's always trade-offs in the VR industry. But I think we will get there. We'll eventually get the best of both worlds. What the heck does Brad know that we don't? He was kind of cryptic yesterday. I could reach out to Brad. And Bradley is a good dude, but I'm not familiar with what you're talking about. Someone said they were disappointed in the D&D rules. Wait. Where did I miss that? Gotta blow my nose. Hold on. If you're getting buffering, just refresh. The stream's steady now, but it is what it is. If it doesn't correct with my new PC and OBS setting, then we're getting a new internet provider, because this has been an ongoing thing for a while. Let's see. 4K micro OLED is the future. I mean, it's kind of hard to just put a stamp of approval or something like that. It's gonna go wherever like the overall industry takes it. Whatever is the biggest bang for your buck. You might have some, third-party headsets that only care about making a couple headset sales, like the Asus ROG version. That might just have high-end specs for the sake of high-end specs and be overpriced. But I think, will every headset have No, I don't think so. All right. I ordered a 5090. It's on the way. Hold up. A whiteboard? What are we talking about? What's your new build? It's going to be RTX 5090 and AMD 9800 X3D. And 64 gigs of RAM running at, 6 gigahertz, right? 6,000 megahertz. DDR5, the works. Asus motherboard. I like Asus. I've used them for years. I rarely have, you'll have, sometimes they bundle with annoying software or something, but I rarely have any type of, defects with them. I'm sorry, I'm sniffling all over the stream. The cold is over. The nose is just, look at the size of the schnoz. So yeah, I'm waiting for my 5090. So what else is going on? Are you guys excited for Battle Mocked? Like I am? Trade you a 3060 straight up, no questions asked. That sounds like a smart deal. Oh, yeah, Casey, I asked you if you were, why you asked about Upload VR. I don't know when they stream or when they're on or what their deal is, so I don't know if they're on at the same time as me or something, but yeah. Just been sitting here waiting for more content to drop. More content. What type of content you looking for? I mean, tomorrow I have a video discussing how we're in 2025's VR is dead stage again. It's dead. We see this every year. It's fun because it gets more ridiculous each year. As you see more sales, and I mean, listen, it's still not like the super safest, most viable industry that I would say, hey, get into VR game development. It's easy street. Absolutely not. People getting into VR do not do it for the money. They do it because they love it. But I mean, it is coming along nicely. It is improving. It's leagues ahead of when I first started VR. I got a million messages in the last 5 seconds. It is it's crazy to see how far VR has come. And I just think about that. When I first threw on my headset, it was such a wow moment, something that blew me away, something I wanted to share with everyone. And I've become desensitized over time, which is normal. It rarely has that same wow when I turn the headset back on, but every once in a while it does. And I stop and remember, this might be someone else's first time, their first VR experience, and I'm really happy for them. And I want to make everyone's first experience in VR even better and better. So that's why I really get happy to see VR growing. I'm really curious. Resolution Games has an amazing track record. Demio was fantastic. I am just a huge D&D nerd in general. So you combine all those things, I might be living in VR. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't have a DM toolkit, which is something I thought, maybe they could still do in the future. But, if there was a DM toolkit, that's pretty crazy. Kill Delta, no idea who you're talking about. When everyone is buying a Quest, and yes, VR is dead. Yeah, Quest sales are up significantly. VR is dead. Wait, that happens every year. I want more short content in VR. Even long flat screen games are a high hill for me to climb these days to sit down and play. I'm with you on that. That's the one thing. That's the one thing that kind of gets to me with VR is like I want to play so much, but then I get physically tired. You know, I'm in my 40s. I'm always busy. I got young kids. You know, it adds up. People think it doesn't, but it does. Like it's hard for me. And then I do this stuff, and then immediately after this, I'm gonna be finishing up a video, and the time's not readily available. Let's see. It's not your type of game. A Wander is my type of game, but I really hope that it's the D&D game you wish for. Well, thank you, Mark. And I think you'll be excited for Wander. I think you will. Not much longer. I mean, that's the dream, KC. If we could just, put a chip on our head like Black Mirror, or go into a room that becomes the holodeck, that's the dream. I probably won't live to see that, though. I'm probably going to croak, I don't know, what do I got, 30-something years left in me? And then I'll croak, and then you guys will get the cool shit. So, Kill Delta, it's funny you say that. With the 5090 and new PC on the way, I'm going to be going back to older games. I'm going to be doing a lot of VR mods in the near future. I'm going to be going back to roots because I want to get that nostalgic kick again. I want to see how certain things aged. And I'm like itching for that type of content. So I'm going to be jumping into that for a little bit. Also for like testing stuff, see what how the 5090 actually performs. What can it push VR up to new levels? Probably not, but it is what it is. VR is dead. Long live VR. Hit the gym, Mateo. I hit the gym this morning. I was there this morning, and I sound ill, but I'm not. I'm just a stuffy nose. It's difficult not to go over the top and obviously overreacting to things that are impressive when you have been in the space for as long as we have. It's it's difficult kind of both ways. Like something new will get announced, and you could sit there and dive into like all the knowledge from the past 8 years you've had about VR and be like, wow, this is actually significant. Now, how I got to realizing it's significant may look like nothing to anyone else, but knowing how many like battles had to be overcome and hurdles resolved and yada yada, knowing like how to get from A to B, and you'll see something be like, guys, this is crazy, and other people can't see it, but that's because you just have tons of information. There's the opposite of that too, because we've seen amazing things years ago. We've seen Half-Life Alyx almost 6 years ago, and it's like, and what has been more impressive than that? Nothing. So you end up on both sides. Dude, you're only about halfway through your life. Well, statistically, the white average man in America dies between 78 and 82. Now, historically, the men in my family live about 10 years less than that. Now I'm doing everything right. I actually just I have a minor genetic disorder, which doesn't cause any issues, at least now in my life. And I get blood tests every 6 months or even shorter sometimes, just to see how everything's going. I just got the best blood work results I've had in my life. So everything's looking good. I'm at super low risk for like cardiac event or anything like that, especially after my recent scare, if you guys know the story from MetaConnect. So, obviously I'm trying to take care of myself, but genetics may be against me in this one. So not even halfway, I'm not believing for a second. I think I'm at least halfway to end of my life. Let's see. Not to turn dark. So the 5090 does give a decent boost, but yeah, in traditional rasterization, it's like 30%. Some games that use newer features, you could see like maybe up to a 50, maybe even 60% increase over the 4090. But yeah, again, the jumps aren't what they used to be. Yeah, so Oni, all right. It looks like we're on the same page here. Yeah, it's the AAA or nothing crowd. It's not practical. It's just so not practical. Have you played Stranger Things VR? Yeah, I liked it. Not a ton of people loved it. I liked it. Like I thought it was cool. I thought it added to the overall Stranger Things universe. It was nice to see things from a different side. I enjoyed the storytelling, but in many ways, it was like a walking sim and not for everybody. It is sad news for fast travel games. I mean, they launched a bunch of titles. They did fairly well. But yeah, I mean, shit happens. Like I said, the industry is still rocky. It's still not rock solid. It's still not super safe. Every game that you invest in as a publisher is a, bit of a gamble. And these are games that are so much smaller in size and scope and expense compared to flat screen games. It's crazy to think about it. When you got a studio that's begging, for a couple million out there, and a AAA flat screen game could be 100 to 400 million these days. All right. Will the 5090 with heavy VR chat will it? I'm sorry, guys. I believe that's my computer delivery. I will be right back. I apologize. Let's see. Where is my be right back screen going? I apparently had to take a break. I don't know what it is. Maybe I had to go to the bathroom. Maybe my doorbell rang. Maybe the dog's barking. It's one of those things. I'm sorry. I promise I'll be back soon. I'm sure I'm going to put something really entertaining on the screen to occupy you guys while I'm gone. Or even better, maybe go ahead and open up a second window and check out one of my latest videos while you're waiting for my return. Isn't this way better than standard hold music? So thanks for your patience, guys, and I promise I'll be back soon. I'm sure something extremely important must have come up. Hey guys, I apparently had to take a break. I don't know what it is. Maybe I had to go to the bathroom. Maybe my doorbell rang. Maybe the dog's barking. It's one of those things. I'm sorry. I promise I'll be back soon. I'm sure I'm going to put something really entertaining on the screen to occupy you guys while I'm gone. Or even better, maybe go ahead and open up a second window and check out one of my latest videos while you're waiting for my return. Isn't this way better than standard hold music? So thanks for your patience, guys, and I promise I'll be back soon. I'm sure something extremely important must have come up. I'm back. I'm back. I got abducted by aliens. All right. Okay. That was my computer delivery. It's here. And the box has a nice giant hole in it. So, high hopes. High hopes. Now, and someone's going to sit there and be like, hey, why didn't you build this computer? I used to. It's just too lazy now. It's a pain in the ass. But I honestly, in my lifetime, I probably built about, 200 computers. But I used to build them at work. I used to build them for work, and I used to they were very cookie cutter machines. I bang them out. Then I did, I worked for some custom designs, which is always a lot more fun. And now I just not unboxing because I'm out of breath just bringing the box in the house. So no. Any info on Train Sim VR? No new information, but I should be able to share something in the future. Who is Harry? I don't know. Oh my God. I would not even with 200 PC builds under my belt, I would not do a live stream build on a PC because some people have done it hysterically bad in the past, hysterically bad. And then it's become like a meme. But even if I know what I'm doing, which I do, I'd be very comfortable. I'm just not doing it live because it would just be people would just be waiting for me to drop something or drop the 5090 right into the motherboard and crack everything. How bad do you want to jump off to play with your new toy? Let me tell you, Trevor, I don't know what happened, but probably around somewhere in my 30s, that like I can't wait to play with a new toy aspect has died. Like, sure, I can't wait to open it up, but I'm thinking it's also going to be work. Like in the back of my head, I got, set up the whole OS, OBS, install all my stuff. I got to do cabling. I got to do a million effing things. That part of me, like, I can't wait, is dead. Can I tell you what part of me, though, is alive and kicking stronger than ever? The other day, I had feedback on this mic. I had electronic noise. I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 with Genghis, and I tend to use my voice changer because she always live streams when we're playing. And I change my voice. I use my voice changer to this and make fun of her. I go, Fusro da. And I talk to Genghis's chat in Genghis's voice. And, so I have my headphones on so I could hear myself. And I'm getting this weird staticky noise. And it turns out in my efforts to do excessive cable management, which I've done. So I did. Look how clean that cabling is. Look how clean that cable. Besides that little corner right there that I'll clean up later. Look how clean that cable. You can't see a cable anywhere. So I did all that cleanup in cable management, and I wrapped the Go XLR cable too tight near a power cable. And I introduced noise. And that was a very long story to talk about noise on a microphone. But that's how we got there. And the part of me, that's where this started. The part of me, like, oh, I can't wait to play with my new toy. No, I have the part of me that says, I got to fix something. I couldn't effing sleep until I fixed this issue. I left the Baldur's Gate 3 game. I restarted my computer. I did all the basic stuff fast, and I still heard the noise, and I was losing my mind. So I played Baldur's Gate, and then after that, I was like, I can't sleep until I resolve this. So, yeah. What PC service do you use? Okay. I've used CyberPower. I've used iBuyPower. And I think I even used Digital Storm once, but I feel like they were super overpriced. CyberPower and iBuyPower are like lesser names, but they've been around forever, and their prices are usually good. So I think CyberPower PC, like I had one or two issues with them, and I had to like do a lot of work on my own machine. I had a really weird issue that it was a power supply rail issue. They had too much power coming out of one rail. It was a 2-split on their PSU. And this would only manifest in like one indie game. And something about the loading screen of the game would pump my CPU, GPU up to max. And my monitor would also be able to run at like the 240 hertz. So literally I would start drawing like as much power as humanly possible for a split second, and my machine would freak the hell out. And it was a rail issue. 4090s going for like $3K on Newegg is ridiculous. It's beyond ridiculous. Beyond ridiculous. And yeah, you recall in the Verge trauma when they built the PC. What did he use? Like a pocket knife with his screwdriver. Oh my God, that was rough. So let's see. So I've used a bunch of different services, what I'm saying. But I used to do, custom builds for people 1,000 years ago. And I used to work for a company that did like on-site tech for like all the businesses, all the small businesses in the borough of New York City that I grew up in. And so I'd just be going to business all day, building them computers and managing their computers. So do you think IML will bring What If to Quest? That's a good question. I don't know. They probably got some like Apple kickback for that. I can't see they would have did that for just the Apple Vision Pro for no reason. Did I hear the news about Demio's new game? You mean the icon that's right there? Yeah, I did a whole video on it yesterday, Nick. But I don't expect it to be up to date on everything. Mons, great for joining. Thank you. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thanks, Mark. Thanks. So we'll see. But now what I might have to do, which is crazy, I might have to update my UPS. My UPS is 1500 watts. And I think, so I had my PC and my monitors plugged into my UPS because obviously the UPS is there. If the power goes out, you have time to shut down your computer. But if my monitors also go out, then I got to remote into my computer and shut it down. But what if my modem went out? So now I can't remote into my PC. So I had a couple other things on my UPS. I had my PC, one monitor, and the modem. And guess what? Every once in a while, I would pull more than the 1500 watts it could support. So that's scary. And now I'm introducing a 5090 into the mix and an even bigger monitor. I'm probably going to have to get a bigger UPS. So this is first world problems. Do I have any new updates? I mean, I don't have any updates besides what they announced, Nick. I can't really say. Like, I was sitting on that information for a little while. I was really excited to talk about it. You know, we don't know how far into the D&D lore and mechanics they're going to push. I really hope they push decently hard, but we'll see. Jack, we got to talk. All right. I see you popping up into the chat. This chat goes in lots of different directions. Okay. This is just an open Q&A basically, but we got to talk, Jack, because you come on the live stream every once in a while. You're real nice. You're chill. And then you're in my chat all the time. Just like, you know, well, in all my videos, like just super angry about everything. Like always, you know, crap talking VR in general. What's the deal, dude? What's the deal? Okay. Every time you turn it on, you need to start the diesel generator. Yeah, that's where we're gonna be with the 5090 in the 6090 Ti. It's gonna be like your whole desk is shaking while you play. Jack, I ain't gonna tell you anything. Okay, not with that attitude. You lock it up. All right, get enough attitude from my girls. Okay, I don't need it from you. I've already spent a bunch of time talking about the new Dungeons and Dragons game coming, Battle Marked, which I'm absolutely pumped for. I'm also pumped for the standalone version of Gunman Contracts. That's going to be pretty awesome. Hitman, I'm trying not to get excited because if you do it right, it's going to be fantastic. But they've screwed it up 3 times now. The Quest version was an absolute joke that should not have launched. And yeah, I mean, right now, I'm actually really pumped to see how Alien Rogue Incursion does for the Meta Quest. I want to say I hope it's not much of a downgrade. And I know that they did some recent updates that fix a couple things that people complained about, which are nice to see. I also hope Arcane Age makes its way to standalone because that's really solid. Arcane Age is really good. I was back into it yesterday. All right, Jack, if VR is not for you, VR is not for you. If it's lame, it's lame, man. Don't go around, bitching and moaning about it. Just move on. Play what you want to play. I'm also playing Path of Exile. Path of Exile 2 is freaking awesome. It sucked me in. If it's not for you, dude, just don't bitch and moan about it. It doesn't help anybody. Like, you could definitely call out some things that may bother you in the industry, or you could point out what you think needs to change, but to sit and bitch and moan, it's effing pointless. Do you think the Battle Mark board will be more organic than Demio? I don't know. Like, that I don't really know. Maybe hexes rather than square spaces. D&D is traditionally square spaces. Every inch is 5 feet. But they're not as strict on that as like games like Warhammer. But I feel like they're going to do a little bit more in the overall environment. Like when it comes to, it's going to be a little bit more world building. Like Demio is very much what it is. Demio is a dungeon crawl for 2 levels, a strategic dungeon crawl for 2 levels, and then a boss fight. That's what Demio is. And they're just like reskinned with different traps and enemies and stuff, but it's that over and over again. I think if you're really going to do D&D, you're going to lean into more story elements, you're going to lean into more like environmental storytelling, and obviously hopefully player progression. There's a Tron bike game that I haven't tried that, but that would be badass. Tron 2.0 for PC. Huh. All right, Jack. I get it, man. I get it. Listen, if you didn't like VR in 2024, I don't know what to tell you. Batman was great. I thoroughly enjoyed Metro. I know Arcane Age is not 2024. It's more recent, but that really gave me like an old school PCVR nostalgia to it. There's plenty of awesome stuff. Wanderer's on the way. All right, if you're not a puzzle fan, fine, so be it. But even the mod scene is looking, pretty damn good again. I'm going to jump into Cyberpunk once I get my 5090 installed. And I never did like a solid Skyrim run because here's my thing with Skyrim VR. I don't want to play vanilla Skyrim again. And when I say vanilla Skyrim, I don't mean, without the updates and stuff. I mean, or without like the VR mods. I mean, the story. I need new content. I cannot jump into VR again, Skyrim again, and do the same content, the same quest, the same run away from the dragon in the beginning. Yeah, I can't. My brain can't handle it. It's like a movie you've watched 100 times and you don't want to watch 101. Vanilla Skyrim. That's great. Starring Tom Cruise. I need tech support. If you guys are familiar with the movie. I love that movie. Vanilla Sky. You need to convince me and beg me to keep playing VR. No, I don't. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Move on. Like some people genuinely think, okay, it's not, it's not fun anymore. It's not for them. I'm actually doing a video discussing that tomorrow. And if it's not, cool. It's not. Like sometimes that, like my Xbox is my dust machine. There's nothing on Xbox that I enjoy, that I want to play. I think the last thing I played was I started the Halo campaign and didn't even play through it. Honestly, there's nothing on Xbox remotely appealing. I cannot tell you any first party Microsoft Studio game or any like Xbox exclusive that I played in the last 5 years. I mean, like played through completely. I did Hellblade, Senua's, what's the second one called? Senua's Sacrifice is the first one, I believe. But the second one, Hellblade 2. And graphically, stunning. Storyline, creepy as ever, pretty cool. Lost me. And it's a short game. I think it's like 6 hours long, and I stopped 4 hours in. So, it is what it is. What about character builds for Battlemark? We don't know. We don't know, unfortunately. I hate cheese. Man, who hates cheese? What are we talking about? Xbox games have been amazing. Tell me one. Tell me one. I mean, because people are going to name games that are multi-platform. So, what's the point? I never got around to the Plague Tales games. They looked cool. They were on PC. I could try them. I've been way more impressed with, like, even though PlayStation's been dropping the ball a lot, I really liked, God of War was amazing. I was a big fan of Spider-Man. I don't know how Spider-Man 2 got some hate. I don't get it. I loved it. Their first party games, even Ratchet and Clank and Astrobot, I loved. Mostly my kid played through Astrobot and I just helped her when she got stuck, but still. Have you tried Crisis VR yet? No, I have not. Maybe I'll do it. I've had Game Pass on Xbox for the past 2 years. I got a year free from somebody. So for 2 years, I've had Game Pass, and I had Game Pass for a year when I first got my Xbox. 3 years of Game Pass. I've played through, oh my God, I can't remember the name of it. It was like Played a little bit like the Division MMO, but you had special powers. You went to an alien planet and had special powers. Outriders. I played that at launch. I played through it, but it didn't work as like a live service for me. Once I played through the storyline, I never turned it back on again. Hellblade 2, I told you I tried. I played a tiny bit of Halo. I played most of it on my PC in multiplayer. I played 10 seconds of the campaign on Xbox. Eventually, the one that was pretty good from Bethesda, Hi-Fi Rush, that went multiplat. That was pretty cool, but again, didn't play through that. Xbox got nothing that's really doing it for me, even with Game Pass. Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Well, Gears of War, there hasn't been a Gears of War in a long time, but I did play through all the Gears of War. I love Gears of War. I'm a big fan. Actually, my wife plays it with me too. It's like the only game she plays with me. But what was the other one? No, I wasn't going to say Star. What was Bethesda's latest screw up? Starfield? That sucked. That was Space Skyrim at its worst. It was terrible. Terrible. So, I don't know. Starfield, yes, thank you. It was terrible. Underwhelming is like, because when you spend all your time, that game was developed to get people to keep renewing their Xbox Live monthly account. It was made to artificially put like roadblocks in your way to slow you down. Like no pathfinding in the map. You have to go through 7,000 UI screens to find anything. I swear the game was designed to slow you down to get you to keep playing and renewing your monthly subscription. I swear. Pete, thank you for the love. It means a lot to me. It's pretty crazy though. Like Skyrim was the type of game that you could play forever. And the newest game like that is Baldur's Gate, which I'm playing through now with Genghis and 2 other people. And it'll probably take us 9 years to finish that. But it's another one of those games that like is never the same when you replay it. There's a million different things to find. It's addictive. The last game that had the real Skyrim style addiction was Cyberpunk. It really had that like, I want to go on a quest line. I want to power up. I want to see how badass I can become. I want to see where the story goes if I do this side quest. It really had that, and it was really good, especially after a bunch of patches. Cyberpunk was fantastic. Wasn't great as much in the beginning, but it really got solid. Solo, thanks for popping in. Let's see. Just catching up here. Ever try Pal World? Nah, I didn't. Like, I was never really into the Pokemon scene that much. So I just kind of like, was like, well, there was a hype around it. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to fire a game up just for hype. I'm going to play a game I want to play. Whatever happened to the COD that was supposed to be on PlayStation VR 2? I don't know what game you're talking about. Like, I don't think there was ever an official Call of Duty coming. So, well, here's the thing about like VR ports. A game like, especially a game like Cyberpunk, was not made for VR. And no, it's not a port. It's a mod. Okay? If it was a full port, even a full port, I don't think is going to be like perfect. Just like when you take Resident Evil 4 and bring it into the Quest 2. It was a full mod. They took years on that. But even then, you had these, like weird looking cutscenes, and it goes to third person when you kick somebody. So they couldn't solve everything. And, you're never going to solve everything when porting a game. Some games port a lot better than others. But Cyberpunk was one I would not expect to ever port perfectly. And this is a mod, not a port. So, and also you need an insane PC to keep that running pretty decent. What happened to Aces of Thunder? It's coming. It's coming. It was when PSVR 2 first happened, and the new COD at the time said during the Sony that it's coming to PlayStation VR 2. I'm not familiar with that. I put about 400 hours into Starfield before I decided it was crap and not worth any more of my time. See, that is 100% what I'm talking about. Like, they're trying to make an addictive product rather than a good product. They're trying to get something that seeps itself under your skin, and like you find yourself like, I don't like this game, but I'm still playing it. I don't like this game, but I'm still playing it. It's like a bad drug relationship. You know, you're not getting high and enjoying it anymore, but yet you find yourself still doing it. That's what it ended up becoming, which is really sad. And yeah, they do kind of talk about online services. They refer to people like the same thing they do with gambling and drug addicts. You know, people are whales or heavy users. They have the same, like, they look at us the same way as cash cows, basically. Got to get games back to their roots. Or you keep playing it, waiting for it to get better. I know. Yeah, MMOs tend to have that sensation too. Like, I put in, I don't know, there was one that Genghis had me playing, and I don't even remember the name of it, but it had me hooked for a little while. And eventually I'm like, I'm not enjoying this. Why am I playing it? Bad, Matt. Bad. You know, you got to kind of snap yourself out of it. But I'm going to see how I could get Cyberpunk running. Yeah, you have a 4090. A 4090 is, you know, the end all be all until a few days from now. I am hoping Valve releases Half-Life 3 because they see the AAA games charging to headfirst into profits. Yes, I mean, so man, the industry always is in flux. It always goes through, you know, ups and downs. I've been around a long time. Now, back in the day, I grew up on Atari, and these games were trash. Okay, you know, and you jump over a freaking pit. Okay, and if you don't, there's like 7 whole pixels, and if you jump on pixel 7, you die. But pixel 6, you're good. Pixel 5, you come up short. Like that. That's how the games were. It was rough. And there was so much hype around video games then that they mass overproduced cartridges. And there were actual landfills out there filled with Atari cartridges. And after that whole debacle, the industry collapsed. And no one could even talk about making a new game console. And Nintendo had to kind of like shoehorn their way in and pretend the Nintendo Entertainment System wasn't a game console. Like they had the ads with this like robot that disappeared. And no, it's really like a toy and it's not a console, but it does games. And then when it was successful, you know, they were able to drop that whole facade and start making games again and revitalize the industry. But it was almost dead and done. And that shit happens. The 4090 is the new 1080 Ti. We'll see about that. The only MMO that I played beyond the initial month was City of Heroes. I played City of Heroes for a while. City of Heroes had the issue of it started off trying to be too ambitious, then realized it didn't work and scaled back to a generic MMO, and it got super boring. What do you think new Half-Life will be? A VR title? Probably not. If they're going to make a Half-Life 3, it's going to be flat screen. Will it potentially have something VR in it? Sure. Will it be both? Possibly. But it has to be flat screen. Yes, I was describing Pitfall. That's how rough it was. All right. So, flat to VR disappointed, don't you think? I mean, Trombone, what the fuck? All right. So, they're a brand new company that no one in the industry really knows or respects yet. Like, some of the community will respect them. They see all the amazing flat to VR mods that come out, but that doesn't mean anything when it comes to going to people and saying, hey, we need your money, or hey, we want to modify your existing product. So you got to start somewhere. And a game like Trombone Champ is actually a game that translates really well into VR because you are playing an instrument. And it was also a very beloved game. It's not like they took a shitty game and brought a shitty game to VR. That game has, you know, crazy rating on Steam. So they took the already beloved game, they converted it extremely well, and said, look, this is what we can do. This is what we could do for your game. They had to start somewhere. I actually think it was a good start. And I know they're working towards much bigger fish. Okay? I know they're working on it. And hopefully this helps prove they're capable. And I won't trash Pitfall. It was amazing 1,000 years ago. City of Heroes still has a rogue server out there. City of Heroes was getting sued back in the day because everyone was making characters that looked like, you know, Marvel or DC characters. It was crazy. You have a feeling that Flat Out will be good? Flat Out looks good, I'll tell you that much. As much as I like to rag on Flat the VR, Trombone Champ was a smaller scoped game. We'll have to see how they do with their other announced titles. Yes. Deckard tech will be old by the time it releases. Everything's old. Hardware's always old by the time it releases, which sucks. Just mass production slows things down by like 18 months minimum. You also do have to consider they do have to port games. Well, it's in their best interest if they want to make any sense of any type of money. They do have to port games that go to Quest. I'm sorry, as much as people don't want to hear that, that's where the money in the industry is. You got to get your stuff working on Quest, or you're going to be disappointed. You're going to make no money, and you're going to fail in the industry. It sucks. But you have to understand that never in your life would you spend your money on a game like Trombone Champ. Yet all the other people out there, and there's tons of people that bought it on Steam in flat screen. Okay? You're not one of those people. Different preferences. Didn't someone come in and say they hate cheese? Cheese is nasty. The guy's name is Cheese is Nasty. Okay? So, like, that's the whole thing. There is clientele out there. You're just not that person. You're just not that person. You have to accept that. My new PC is definitely old already. What are my thoughts on Get Hip quitting being a VR YouTuber? Who is that? Who? I definitely need to go Quest, correct? It definitely needs to go Quest, yes. Alex isn't on Quest. Okay. We could talk Alex. Alex is a first party, pretty much promotional game. Valve is like no one else in the industry. They are an extreme outlier. They make their money selling games. And they kind of just like have a room where they just put spare $100 bills until the room fills up. And then they go, hey guys, what do you want to do with this room full of $100 bills to the ceiling? Throw a pizza party with 10 million pizzas? No, let's do something cool. We like VR. Let's make a VR game. And then they fund their own game internally. Anyone else who wanted to do a game on that scope and scale would not be able to get that investment money. And no one else has that money laying around. And the only other people who've attempted anything close like that are Meta, because they have that money laying around. And even they didn't go as big as Valve. Okay, so you can't use Half-Life Alyx as an example of anything except the extremes. That's all it is. It's an example of the extremes or the outliers. Let's see. And Arlen is 100% right. Yeah. You know, they got to start with smaller titles. They got to prove they're capable. And then they could show this. They go over to bigger, IPs and say, look what we've done. We have this skill set. We're going to make your game shine in VR. That's what they have to do. I kind of like the idea of Valve making a multiplayer boss battler type game, like Monster Hunter meets the Vigo. That'd be awesome. I would really love. Jack's still here. I would really love. We're gonna get back to this conversation, Jack. You just wait, okay? Coming for you. All right. I really love when a game has both a VR and a PC aspect that you could switch to. and both feel equally rewarding, and like you're growing in two different directions. So you want to try VR for, X, Y, Z reasons, and you want to go to flat for ABC reasons, and they both are engaging. That's what I'm looking for. So Jack left VR because it's either low quality or bust. In a way, you can say that's kind of true, but no, it's not. Like Batman Arkham Shadow is low quality. If you believe that, if you honestly believe Batman Arkham Shadow is low quality, then this conversation is over. You can officially leave now. Okay? If that's how you feel, if you feel it's low quality, you can up and leave. Same for like Asgard's Wrath 2 and even Metro Awakening on the Quest. If you think these games are low quality, the conversation's over. I have nothing else to say to you. Okay? It's not go low quality or bust, but there are significant limitations. Okay? No one's going to get the money to produce a Half-Life Alex. The industry can't support it. The only one who can inject enough money is first-party developers, and the only one doing it right now is Meta. Sony's not even really doing it, unfortunately. So, you got to wait for the industry to grow. You let the industry grow, and then we'll get bigger and better titles. From where we were 8 years ago, 8 years ago, we were just dying for any content. Anything. Like, we had shit back then. You'd get like one game a year, and it'd be like 15 minutes long. So from where we were to where we are is leaps and bounds. And if you don't feel that way, okay, give up for a while. And a lot of people are saying nothing compares to Arkham. I wouldn't say nothing compares to it, but it's impressive. Hey man, just got home from school. What did I miss? Not much. Just me ranting like normal. I want a One Piece game. What's a One Piece game? Is that like a bathing suit that you wear that's not as revealing, but it's a game? I'm confused. Don't pick on Jack. Don't pick on Jack. I am picking on him a little bit. That's enough for everybody. Leave him alone. Just, it is what it is. And we know Meta will pull away from gaming. We know it's going to happen because obviously that's not their end goal. But if on the way to their end goal, they build the VR industry up big enough that third party could jump in and give us amazing experiences, I'm all effing for it. I will gladly take their first party titles that they're probably losing money on while the industry grows, because those first party titles are badass. And then if they grow the industry enough, even if they move out of it, there'll be enough room for everybody else to do something cool. Meta just wasted $25 million on Trump. Whatever. $25 million is a fart to them. I'm not even thinking about this nonsense. Let's see. It's odd to me that Meta is going the 3DO route. Please explain. Just gonna take a breath. Okay. Arcane Age beat Batman for me. Both great games. Arcane Age is fantastic. Arcane Age is actually really, really good. I'm not gonna lie. I went in with very low expectations, and I will say their color palette just does not help the way the game looks in trailers. It looks like green on green. It looks like very sloppy. It doesn't look refined. You get in VR with the added depth. It looks great. It doesn't look like everything's washed out green on green. The game looks great. The combat is fierce and fun. The weapons are really cool. Like you significantly change your weapon. It's not like you get something, oh, this suddenly does more damage, or the weapons are significantly different. Like when you go from the sword to the axe, it's not just like a sword and an axe. The axe has a special ability where you could throw it out and have it come back to you. You feel like Kratos all of a sudden. So instead of just a sword that hits hard and it's a laser sword, now you have a throwable weapon, which is just awesome. Let's see. Getting ready for Quest 4. I think we got some time there. The weapons in Metro are pretty badass too. Like they have that nice like level of like, you know, like we're in this scarce world where it's only the reliable weapons that stayed around, or makeshift weapons. Like your electric thing is, you know, crank makeshift. It's pretty cool. Brian, I have heard of Beyond Sandbox. It does look pretty cool. I haven't tried it out, and I really want to, you know, like see where that's going. But from a physics standpoint, that looks pretty badass. And on a note of physics, Boneworks, or Stress Level Zero, it has done some major updates. So they're bringing the full Boneworks to Quest, and it's like, you know, they have their whole, what is it called? Something with an M. Is it Marrow? They have like their whole underlining engine, and that's, you know, their physics system that they developed, and they said they made it so much more robust, and it's going to be badass for their next game. So really interested to see what they have coming. Your fear is games like Behemoth and Metro didn't sell well enough. You know, that's always a tough one. And like I said, most of these studios are in VR because they like VR. They love VR. They're not here for the money. Hopefully they could continue to, like, you know, break a decent profit. See, the risk versus reward in flat screen gaming and the potential profit is just insane. Like they'll pump 100 million into a game, but sometimes get like 200 million in return. So you get like a 200% return, which is insane. Same thing for the movie industry. You see crazy numbers, but just think how big the fail could be, which has happened. Concord, 400 million. Yeah. So it's a whole different ball game. But I will say the minimum bar for standalone games does feel like it's constantly raising. Rainbow, thanks for popping in. What can Meta do to make the store better? I'm dogging on Meta here because it's easy to dump on them. Yeah, it is. The store is really that much of a mess these days. It is. Bag, we can't even say if how well a game like Arkham Shadow sells because it's bundled. Bundled with the headset. It's there as a promotional title. Meta didn't make it to make money. They made it to help sell more quests and get people into the ecosystem. Same thing with Resident Evil 4, and the same thing with Asgard's Wrath 2. They're making big titles to buy you into the ecosystem. What could they do for this store to make it better? Blow it up and start over. Yeah, make the search work. I'll take that. That needs some work. Madison VR is scary. It is. Like, it's not like this super jumps, feel scared, you'll probably crap your pants. But if you're not desensitized to VR horror, yeah, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. Does it annoy anyone else that the Quest dashboard opens a new window every time you click on something? Kind of, yes. They're always making so many UI changes that every time I turn on my headset, I'm cursing at something. They need to separate the shovelware. Separate them again. Oh, there goes Jack again. That's a convenient way to admit to low sales. The game was literally free to like 10 million people. So, okay, no, it sold 10 million copies. How about that? How about them numbers? Actually, from my analytics on what people come to my site and actually click and buy, nothing has ever surpassed Batman. Nothing has come close from people going from my site to getting a game. It's insane. All right. If the Quest 4 does a 2x in performance, do you think that's enough to encourage titles of PlayStation VR type quality? Listen, it's hard to like, do something like just say, yeah, you'll get PlayStation. It's more nuanced is what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a lot of post-processing on PC and PlayStation VR that standalone just can't get. And this is usually like particle effects and shadows and stuff like that, which adds a lot of immersion, but also a lot of overhead. Or they just don't have the underlying hardware to really take advantage of that stuff. And sometimes that has a major impact, and sometimes it doesn't. So it's hard to say, like, will we get PlayStation VR 2 style games? I don't know. I mean, the Switch 2 is actually boasting PlayStation 4 graphics. Excuse me. PlayStation 4 Pro. That's the Switch 2. The upcoming Nintendo headsets, like, we have the graphic power of a PlayStation 4 Pro. But then again, it's mobile. So it's tough. We'll get PlayStation 1 graphics. How about that? I need a moderator. What do I need a moderator for? There's nothing going on in chat that's crazy. If chat was out of control, I'd shut it down, but there's nothing going on here that's crazy. They should have been a special power in Batman using voice recognition that allowed you to scare enemies by yelling, "I'm Batman." Well, I ran around yelling, "I'm Batman." What's better, Arcane or Asgard's Wrath 2? Arcane's a show. Asgard's Wrath 2 is a game. Apples and oranges. But honestly, if I had to pick, fuck. Oh my god, Arcane is amazing. Metal Gear VR, PlayStation 1. But then you have to stop and think, like, see, it's so not apples to apples. One thing that PlayStation VR was limited by was a super low resolution screen. Like, the PlayStation VR 1 headset had the crappiest headset ever. It was super low resolution. Meta did the stopgap of opening the store where they made App Lab games searchable, but in a separate area. I don't know the answer to that. I'm harmless. Mateo knows he's my dude. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. He comes to my comments. He's super negative and like aggressive anti-VR, but he's always there commenting. So, I listen, like I said, if it's not for you, it's not for you. It comes, I'm sorry, this cold, guys. It comes from the heart. Like, my opinion and how I feel about VR and what I'm talking about comes from the heart. I care about VR. I want VR to grow. I'm genuinely excited for a lot of things. But, for some people, they want a lot more. For some people, it's not enough. For some people, they expected the progress of VR to be a lot bigger. I get it. I'm with you on that. Sorry. All right. But I'm going to be wrapping up this stream, guys, between my voice going and the snot's coming out of my nose and it's not looking great. And I got work to do. And I normally only stream 90 minutes anyway. So we'll start saying our goodbyes. For you guys who are new here, thanks for popping in. I appreciate it. For the regulars, you guys are awesome too. You know it. I do have my affiliate link that gets dropped in chat every once in a while that I'm looking for right here. I'll drop that again for you guys. If you're ever looking for some VR games, VR hardware, I do my best to keep this list up to date, which has pretty much all the deals I come across. You guys are amazing. I wouldn't be able to do this without you guys, so thanks for the continued support. I'm crashing. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Leave a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And I have a video coming tomorrow, kind of like on the topics we were just discussing. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day. Stream guys, thank you so much. I wouldn't be here without you. You guys mean the world to me. I hope I did a good job answering all of your questions. And if you want to help support me, the easiest ways are always to leave a comment, throw a thumbs up, subscribe, or if you're one of those crazy people who likes to burn money on me, why not use one of my affiliate links for a discount on some accessories? Maybe become a Patreon or YouTube member. And finally, I have a merch shop with items that no one has ever bought before. Again, thanks for hanging out, guys, and of course, I'll see you on next time.